The bike we're checking out today is this even considered a bike anymore? Anyways, listen to these specs. It has a 72 volt, 4,000 watt geared hub motor that generates a mind-numbing 170 newton meters of torque. Powering that is a 72 volt, 40 amp hour battery with the highest quality Samsung cells. It rocks a 150 amp controller, and it says here that this bad boy will let me go over 50 miles an hour. With a motorcycle look and some of the most unique looking brakes I've ever seen, saying that I'm excited to ride this thing is the understatement of the year. Today, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know about the Eahora Night M1PS. And throughout the video, I'll actually be showing you real world tests so that you can see how this bike performs. You're gonna see how this bike climbs hills, you're gonna see the acceleration, the braking, the top speed. And before we get rolling, why don't we start with the beauty shots? Cue the B-roll. So up until this point, I've only been showing you guys electric bikes on the channel. You know, bicycles with pedals. But this one here kind of crosses into the e-moto category, and I'm okay with that. If you guys want to see more e-motos on the channel, let me know which ones in the comments below, and I'll do my best to bring them in and we can ride them together. Oh, and while you're down there, why don't you hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It's a completely free way for you to help me grow this channel and to make sure that you don't miss any cool bikes that we review each week. So guys, throughout the video, I'm gonna show you tests that you can see. I'm not here to sell you this bike. If this is the right bike for you, it'll sell itself. What I'm here to do today is to show you as much as I can about this bike in the video so that you guys can make an educated decision. It's a pretty big investment, and this is kind of a niche bike because it's not full motorcycle, it's not e-bike, it's kind of in the middle. So if this fits your needs and lifestyle, I want to show you as much as I can in this video so that without a doubt, you guys will know whether this is the right bike for you or not. So here's what a 5'9" dude looks like sitting on the Night. Look at this suspension working. It is super soft. I bet you the ride on this is really, really comfortable. Anyways, really easy to reach the ground. I've got full control over this 187 pound bike. When I first saw it, I thought that you'd be super far lean forward, but these handlebars actually are just in the right position. Look at this. I'm sitting straight up and I can reach the handlebars, no problems. They're really wide. I've got a really strong grip on them. I've got a full view of what's behind me with the mirrors. I mean, this is perfect. Just look at this thing. So when you order the Night, you can get it in 4 different configurations. The naked version like I've got here, there's one with a cargo option, there's one with a passenger seat in the back, and there's even one with a sidecar. There's a link in the description, go check them out. Okay, I want to take 2 minutes and give you guys my first impression on the Eahora Night M1PS here. My initial impressions are very, very positive. I thought the Lyric Graffiti X was a comfortable bike, but this takes it to a whole nother level. It is literally like floating on a cloud. The suspension on here is so soft and so responsive. It's just fluttery. Every little bump disappears under you. It's really, really nice. Now, obviously, this is not a bike to take off-road, so they kept the suspension very soft. If I was to take it off-road, I could probably bottom it out. And the nice thing is that this suspension is fully adjustable. You weigh more, you can just wind those coils back there to give you more support. Let's take a look at the contact points. Over here on the right is a full twist throttle. You have a mode button down here. I'm assuming that's to go up and down the gears. You've got a switch here for your lights. You've got hazards on and off. And up front, here's your motorcycle brake. There's a reach adjust here so you can bring them in or out depending on how big your hands are. And check this out. They have a hydraulic reservoir. This makes sure there's always pressure in the lines when you grab onto the brakes. Really nice to see. And on the left side here, there's the exact same grip as on the right. You've got a horn button, a park button, you've got turn signals left and right, and you've got low and high beams for your headlights. The bike even comes kitted out with mirrors, so you have everything you need to stay safe on the road. And next to the mirror, you even get a supplied phone mount. But this isn't a regular phone mount. It's hardwired to the bike. So all you need to do is plug this into the USB, and your phone will always have power directly from the bike's battery. The next thing you're going to be in contact with on the bike is the seat. And just look at this thing. I'm pretty sure this is real leather because it feels really soft and there's real stitching on it here. There is a ton of padding on this thing and it just looks like a couch. I can't wait to sit on it. And last but not least is somewhere to put your feet. These are spring-loaded pegs. They come out like that. Now there's two ways to mount these. You can mount them directly to the bike here if you've got short legs, or you can add the extensions like I did here. This puts them up and a little bit out of the way so you won't catch them when you're leaning the bike over. So let me show you the display. First, we're going to turn the key and turn it on. Nice. This says the bike's ready to go. On the left here is the gear. So clicking the mode button here, you can actually turn the bike from gear 1, 2, and 3, depending on how fast you want to accelerate and the top speed you want. Next to it, you've got your speedometer in miles an hour. And down below here, you've got the odometer and your battery meter. Looks like my battery's at about half right now. When you turn the lights on, this display comes up. So this is daylight, headlights on. And when you turn the high beams on, you also get this signal here. You've got your left and right turn signals. And if you turn the hazards on, you'll get them on both sides. Very, very nice. Let me show you what the lights look like up close. This is with the power on, but all the lights off. Here's the daylights. Here's the low beams turned on. And here's the high beams. We've got turn signals, left and right, and hazards. Let's take a look at the back. Okay, here's the shot of the back of the bike. I'm going to turn the power on. We're going to go daylights. There we go. This one lights up. I'm going to hold the brake. There you go. It gets nice and bright. We're going to turn the lights on. No change here. High beams on. No change again. And then here's the turn signals. Left, right, and hazards. Nice. So let me show you what the lights look like on the wall. Let's turn them on. Okay, this is the low beam. Nice, wide, sharp projector style headlight. And let's turn on the high beam. So that'll give you a much bigger and farther reach on the road. Nice. So the bike's also ready to ride through the elements. The display has an IPX6 rating, which means it's fully protected against the rain or moisture in the air. And so is the whole bike's wiring harness with an IPX5 rating. Let's talk about the contact points. The grips on this bike are really, really good. I mean, they're full grips. They're not lock-on, but they're actually built in to the bike's controls. You got a full twist throttle on the right and a really nice, soft rubber grip on the left. These grips are nice. I've got no problems with the grips here. The seat's by far the widest and most comfortable bench seats I have ever been on. I've been on the bike for a couple hours now and it is so comfortable. There are zero pressure points. It's just like sitting on a couch. There's no other way to say it. And the pegs, well, the pegs are pegs. This is my first experience riding a bike without pedals, and you know, the pegs are good. The nice thing with this bike is that you can put the pegs in two different positions. If you're shorter and you like your knees bent a little bit, you can have them nice and closer up to you. But for me, I decided to put the extensions on. I've seen other people review this bike, and without the extensions, the pegs come really close to the ground when you're leaning the bike over to turn. So I decided to be safe. put the extensions on, and be a little bit more stretched out on the bike, which, you know, is a really nice place to be. I love the sitting position on this bike. And so far, the electronics have been flawless. The throttle response is really, really nice. All my controls are there, the lights, the turn signals, everything's within a thumb's reach. The mirrors are big, they're easy to see, they don't vibrate and shake so that you can't even see what's behind you. You know, everything on the bike feels tight, everything feels like it's got a purpose. Everything feels like it's just in the right place. There's no rattles on this bike, there's nothing to come loose. And the thing that I love most about the Night, listen to this 72 volt, 4,000 watt hub motor. Yeah, me neither. I can't hear anything. It's just me and the wind whizzing by my ears. It is such a peaceful ride, just flawless. So after riding the Night here for a couple hours, I've got a couple of things that I wish were different. These are no deal breakers by any means, just things that, you know, I wish I could change. I probably will in the future. Let's start with the electronics. This screen. I've tilted the screen as far forward and pointed towards me as I can. And you know what? When it's reflecting the bright sky behind me, I can barely see the screen. It's really hard to see. I kind of wish that this screen was, you know, closer up here, or maybe even, you know, a little bit further up front, and it would have more of an angle that's pointed towards me. Right now, all it's doing is it's reflecting the sky, and it's making it very hard to see. I did get approached by a company that makes different displays, and I'm gonna try my best to hook up that aftermarket display to this bike. But, you know, I'm gonna reach out to a couple of people, see if they've got workarounds on that. But I kind of wish the display was somewhere else. The next thing I wish was a little bit different is the parking. When you stop after, I think it's 5 seconds, maybe a bit longer. Let's wait here. I think it might be 5 or 10 seconds. Anyways, there you go. The bike automatically goes into park mode. So when you're stopped at a red light, you know, if you're not holding on to the brakes, your bike goes into park mode, and now all of a sudden the light turns green, you go to twist the throttle and nothing, right? You got to hold the brakes for a second, then the bike goes back into gear, and then you can get going. Like I said before, it's not a deal breaker, it's just something to get used to, but it's something that I wish, and I'll probably look into to see if I can change that on this bike.
So let's check out everything that's responsible for keeping you on the road. Why don't we start with the 14-inch front wheel? It's a mag wheel that doesn't have spokes, so these wheels will stay true and perfectly straight for the entire life of the bike. Those wheels are wrapped by motorcycle grade tires that are 120 by 80, and they're on 14-inch wheels. These have a nice smooth tread that'll keep you nice and connected to the pavement. Out back, it's a different story altogether. These are 13-inch wheels, and they're wrapped with a much wider rear tire. This is a 215 by 40, and again, on a 13-inch wheel. For rear suspension, you get a dual coil setup. You can adjust the preload here by winding the spring, but there's no other adjustments. No compression, lockout, or rebound adjustments. And up front, it's a similar story. Nice inverted fork with a bunch of travel, but not a ton of adjustments. You get nice low profile fenders included up front and also out back. So why don't we go back outside and see how this thing handles the smooth and rough roads.
I don't know if this is just my opinion, but I think it's a great idea when you're starting to get to know a bike to really make sure you understand the way it handles before you start going top speed with it. So let's do that right now. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna stick to about 30 miles an hour and really lean the bike over to understand how much grip there is on these tires. Oh, man. This bike is so smooth. It's not the most agile, right? Like it's really heavy, but you know what? They put all the weight as low as humanly possible on this bike. So it feels so grounded. Like it feels like it could just stand up by itself. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have anything that makes it feel top heavy. Everything is down low and it feels so good. The one thing I'm a little sketched out about, and this is just because the bike's brand new, is that the tires have a little bit of a plasticky or like a waxy film on top of it, right? Once those tires wear down and you actually get to the nice soft sticky rubber underneath, I know that this bike's gonna have even better traction, but right now the tires are brand new and I just have a little bit of a hard time trusting them fully. Okay, so I've shown you how the bike handles on nice smooth roads. Very long, very slow, very controlled. But what about when the road gets rough? This is as bad as it gets. The road here is super pitted, it's just falling apart, and there's some massive potholes coming up. So let's see what kind of comfort we can keep on the Eahora night on this rough road. Now, the suspension has quite a bit of travel, it's super soft, and so far, the ride's been really comfortable. You get dual coils in the back to keep things nice and supported, but it still has a lot of give, so it's very, very smooth. So let's get a bit of speed and go over some potholes. I'm gonna stick to gear number 2, which will probably tap us out at about 35 miles an hour. Oh man, I'm telling you, like, I know this is something that I can't show you in the video, I can only tell you what it feels like, but honestly, this thing feels like you're riding on a cloud. Okay, here's our first pothole. Nothing. I didn't feel anything. Let's go find another one. Nothing again. There's a little bit of a rattle up front, but I think that's the fender. There's not a ton of clearance between the fender and the front fork, so when the road gets rough or I hit a bump, it just kind of like knocks against the fork a little bit. I know I can adjust that. I literally can't feel anything back there. It is so smooth. It's not the most agile bike, it's really long, but you know what? For a bike that goes this fast, I really, really think this is the way to go. Nice and long, super stable.
Now I told you this thing had some really unique looking brakes. Just take a look at these. These are motorcycle grade disc brakes that take dot fluid, and the caliper mounts inside the disc brake, so it bites onto the inside of the disc instead of the outside like most bikes. The setup's exactly the same front and back. And check this out, both the front and the rear hose for the brakes all wire into this master cylinder here. That means that no matter what I pull, either the front or the rear brake lever, I get an equal amount of pressure to both front and rear brakes. So it seems like this bike's always gonna stay in control when slowing down, which I think is a good thing.
Here's how we're gonna set up the brake test. Here's the marker I wanna stop at, and I've got about a 20-foot distance to the first marker here. I'm gonna try my best to go about 30 miles an hour, 28 to 30, and slam on the brakes with the Eahora Night. I know this bike can go a lot faster, but just to keep things fair, let's do 2 brake tests. I'm gonna go 28 miles an hour, which is about the top speed of most bikes, and come to a stop. See how good these massive brakes are on this thing. And then I'm gonna open it up, go about 40 miles an hour, and see how much time it takes for the Eahora Night to come to a stop. So let's turn this beast around. The turning radius is so large on this thing. Okay. Let's go back, get a little bit of speed. Okay, this should be good enough to hit 28 miles an hour. Can I make the turn? Yes! Okay, let's go. 20, 22, 24, 26, and brake. Oh, man. Oh, I'm just not used to a bike
that's this heavy. Like, I thought I was gonna lay it down. Guys, this is a different beast. Not just because it's a big heavy bike, but it's more in the motorcycle territory, right? And with the roads right now being a little bit wet, I'm not getting the best traction with these slick tires. Now, these tires are great. They're motorcycle grade tires. They feel awesome, but they're brand new and they haven't really worn down that first layer of rubber. You know, once that's done and I get a lot more grip on the ground, I think the braking performance is gonna go up substantially. But right now, as it is, I'm still wearing down that plastic layer on the tires right now, and I haven't really gotten to the nice soft rubber. So I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna call it here, right? It went over the 20 miles an hour, but this thing's almost 200 pounds. It's got a ton of weight, a ton of power. The brakes are great. They feel awesome. But this is a bike you ride more as a motorcycle, right? You look very far ahead and you're gonna have to make smart decisions with this thing. It goes fast, but you're gonna have to look very far ahead and start braking early. Let's talk about these brakes here. As far as how they feel, I really like these brakes. They're very smooth, they're very strong. They look so unique. I've never seen a disc and caliper setup quite like this one before. It's such an eye catcher, and what initially caught my eye when I first laid eyes on the Knight, not only does it look different and unique, but the hydraulic lines for the brakes are set up kind of motorcycle style. You don't get just a front brake or a rear brake. Both levers, so let's say I squeeze just the front brake, the hydraulic fluid gets pushed to both front and back brakes. I've never felt this before. I understand why they did it, because they want both wheels to brake evenly. They don't want you to just skid the rear wheel or, you know, slide out with just holding the front brake. So it makes a lot of sense and it feels really cool. It feels really safe, right? No matter what lever I pull, I know that I'm braking equally with both wheels. Now, like you guys saw back there with the brake test, there's a little bit of a wear-in period with these tires, and that really translates into how well this bike brakes. I really think I'm gonna have to take the next few rides and really wear down the tires a little bit. You kind of want to get down to the nice soft rubber underneath that waxy layer at the top of the tires. That's if you want the optimal braking performance. But as it is right now, the brakes feel great. They've got a ton of power, almost too much right now with the tires not really gripping the ground. And it's just going to take a little bit to get used to.
So before I show you the true performance of the bike, why don't we take a look at what actually makes all of this happen? The battery. Come closer. To get to the battery, you gotta start by unlocking the tray. Once the tray's unlocked, we can remove the battery cover. Take a look at this thing. This Golden Beauty is a 72 volt, 40 amp hour made with the best quality Samsung cells on the market right now. They say on the website that it gives this bike a range of anywhere between 34 to 74 miles, depending on what power mode you have it in. So a big 40 amp hour battery is gonna take a long time to charge, right? Well, not when you have a 13 amp charger. Just look at this thing. It's huge. And take a look at the charge port. You open it, and then you plug this in, just like you're plugging in your Tesla. So if that 40 amp hour battery was completely depleted, charging it back to full would only take 3 hours with that 13 amp charger. That's crazy. So why don't we fast travel to the end of my ride to find out what kind of range I actually got with the Knight.
Okay, range report. I'm almost at the 20-mile mark and I've reached halfway through my battery. So that 40-mile claim that they've got on their website is actually looking to be pretty accurate.
Now let's talk about the cool stuff. Right in here is a 4,000 watt, 72 volt motor. They say it puts out 170 newton meters of torque. And powering all that is a 150 amp controller. If you know anything about e-bikes, those numbers are way higher than we're used to seeing.
Let's find out how fast I can get the wheel spinning without any weight on it. Unfortunately, with the kickstand on, this thing won't spin the wheels, which I think is a really nice, safe thing to have. So let's go back outside and see how this thing really performs. We're gonna do the hill test, the acceleration, the top speed, everything you wanna know.
Time for the hill climb. Let's see what the Eahora Night is like to climb hills. This is my usual hill. I take all my e-bikes over here. This is a little different, I know, so I'm gonna stay on the road, but I'm in power mode 3. Let's go. 30 miles an hour before the hill starts. And I'm not slowing down. 32 miles an hour uphill. Woo! The power on this thing. 34 miles an hour uphill. Just awesome. So right before we take it on to Test Drive Island, unlock the potential of this beast and find out how fast it actually goes with me sitting on it, let's find out how quickly we can accelerate with it. I always start right here at my lamp pole, and just up ahead, I've got a driveway pull out. If I can do 20 miles an hour, we got a fast bike. And if not, there's no way this thing is not hitting 20 miles an hour before there. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it's in park mode. Psych. So you gotta hold both levers, both brake levers. Okay, I'm in power mode 3. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa. The pickup on this thing is awesome. I'm at 20 miles an hour already. Before I could even look down, I was already there. Man, I can't wait to see how fast this thing goes. Time to find out what the Night M1PS has gotten the cells for top speed. Now this thing has a couple of different gears, right? They call them gears on the display. I hope you guys can see it. But I'll start in gear number 1, see what that's like, see if it limits us to top speed or if it's just an acceleration thing. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I'm in park mode again. 3, 2, 1, go. So gear number 1's get me up to about 20 miles an hour. And then I can feel the power just kind of shut off. So 20 miles an hour for gear 1. Let's hit the mode button, go to gear 2. Yeah, it's so smooth riding this thing. Okay, I've got about 35 miles an hour, 37 on the GPS. And let's go to top speed. Woo! 40, 42, 43, 45. 47. 48. All right, so 48 miles an hour is the top speed I got today, but that's after a couple hill climbs and the acceleration test. So with a freshly charged battery, would we be able to hit 50 miles an hour? Maybe. So while we're out here testing the throttle and the top speed, I want to do one thing, and this is something that most reviewers don't really show you, and I think it's so important to how quality the ride feels on a bike. It's the throttle response. There's some bikes out there that just have an on-off switch with their throttle, and you really can't feather any speed and power. So let's find out what the throttle's like on the Eahora Night. I'm in gear number 3, which is the most amount of power I can get from this bike, and I'm gonna try my best to just crawl along. Watch this. Like right away, within maybe 1/8 of an inch of a twist
on the throttle. I'm just getting just a little bit of power. I'll go a little more. There you go, more power. A little bit more. And then all the way. Oh, it's just so easy to control. You have complete control through the whole range of power with the throttle. And it is so refreshing to be on a bike like this. Obviously, this bike's not cheap, I know, but you do get what you pay for with e-bikes. And this thing is no exception.
Most of you that get this bike will be registering it so it's fully legal to ride on the road. And that's what I'm gonna do in the next video I post with the Knight. So make sure you subscribe to see what that process is like and how much fun this thing is to ride fully legal on the streets. If you're looking for an efficient and silent city commuter, if you want something that has really good top speed, decent range, and amazing brakes, if you think those dorky scooters and Vespas are kinda ugly and you want something with more attitude, if you want a bike that actually turns heads and gets people talking, then you gotta check this bike out.
If the Knight M1PS sounds like it's the perfect bike for you, go check it out, man. You can scan this QR code with your phone or click the link in the description. That'll take you right to their website, guaranteeing you the best price and whatever promotion's going on at the time. And don't forget to use my discount code. It's gonna save you hundreds off the price. And if the Eahora Knight is not the perfect bike for you, that's okay. Maybe the bike in this video will be more of what you're looking for. I'll see you over there.